chapter of 12th standard that is going to be origin and evolution. So this is a chapter which is associated with the overall development of life forms on Earth. And let me tell you all, like some part of this chapter has been, reduced in your 12th board syllabus. But for your competitive exams, the entire chapter is going to be asked. So there is, no shortcut to it. So we'll be learning the entire chapter, though some part of it has been omitted. Of course, at the time of teaching, I'll tell you that which part is omitted. But yeah, I'll tell you everything, how many are reduced and all. Let the official notification be released. Last year students means those who are going to give the 12th standard boards this year, for them the syllabus has been reduced and there is an official GR for it. Okay, but for you all, official GR has not yet been, released. So let the official GR be released, and then we can, definitely tell that which chapters have been reduced. They are not omitted exactly. No chapter is omitted from your 12 boards. All chapters which are going to be there are going to be there. Only the content of that particular chapter has been reduced a bit. So whatever has been reduced, of course, when let the official GR come, I'll let you all know. But for sure, what is going to be omitted, which I know, I'll tell you at the end, because otherwise, if I tell you, then you won't, look from the perspective of understanding. But for your kind of this competitive exams, there is no such omitting at all. So we have to do the things in detail. Fine. Of course, this is a very beautiful chapter as a journey. Like when you talk as a life form, like how it originated and how it modified and how different people thought about this, Earth being born. It's a very beautiful process actually. It's like a story. एक कहानी है ये, and it's very interesting as well. Okay, so let us go ahead with understanding of this chapter called as evolution, or it's also called as origin and evolution. Okay, so the very first thing is the contents are very easy to understand, no doubt. They're seriously very easy to understand, but you will have to pay attention very nicely. Okay? So, of course, this is going to be your, you can see very well that how the photographs have been, telling you the entire story in itself, right? The story is told to you all entirely in the picture itself. Look at the picture. Yeah, yeah. So here you can see very well that is the sun is the celestial source over here, and how the things have evolved from the sun towards the mammals. So something that we have to understand now is evolutionary biology. It is the study of history of the life forms on Earth, right? To understand the changes in flora and fauna that have occurred over millions of years on Earth, we must have an understanding of the content of origin of life, that is how the Earth has evolved. We should also know about the stars and, of course, the universe in totality. Evolution is thus the change that has occurred since birth of our Earth, occurring every moment now, and has already become a historical event by the time we are reading this content. So by the time we read this now, every moment becomes history, right? Every minute becomes history, which adds up to this evolutionary biology. Okay. So this is just an introduction to evolutionary biology. It is a continuous process that has occurred. It will be, you know, occurring and will, occur for years together, right? So that is the beauty of this entire discussion. Then, how life originated. So let us see origin of life. Yeah. So here you can see that a very beautiful picture of the galaxies have been put forward. So the origin of life is considered a unique event in the history of universe. The universe is about 20 billion years old. Universe is 20 billion. Earth is not 20 billion. Okay. It includes huge cluster of galaxies which contain stars and clouds of gases and dust. Right. So here we have given the photograph of a part of the universe where you can see a section where galaxies are involved, stars are present, they are clustered together. Yes, a Milky Way orbit. Yes. Then let us come to the Big Bang theory. Now, what is this Big Bang theory? I guess you would be knowing some of you all already. The Big Bang theory explains the origin of the universe. It states that universe arose from a huge explosion, unimaginable in physical terms of large entities. So some scientists believe that it is just there was a big bang, there was a huge explosion which we can't even imagine about it. Okay, so that way they have tried to explain the origin of Earth with the Big Bang theory. As the universe expanded, the temperature decreased, hydrogen and helium were formed sometime later after the universe expanded. Now, why did the temperature decrease? Because after the bang, that explosion had caused tremendous, heat, and gradually that heat got dissipated, and the temperature went on decreasing. Okay, the gases condensed under gravitation, and so these gases, whatever see on bang, the gases are going to be released, and these gases then later on condensed under the gravitational force, and they form the galaxies of the present day universe. So whatever galaxies are known to us now, they are a product of what this Big Bang theory is, what is proposed. Okay, here there are all assumptions and propositions. Many people have assumed, proposed, hypothesized. Okay, so these are the words. There is no, like foolproof, technology that is involved in understanding this. This is all simulation. We have just thought of it and we have simulated. Okay, then in the solar system of the Milky Way, of our galaxy, Earth was supposed to be formed about 4.5 billion years ago. Yeah. So around 4.5 billion years ago is the birth of our planet Earth, is what has been presumed. Okay. So this question is very frequently asked, that the Earth originated approximately how many years ago? So it's an approximation that it is 4.5 billion, not million. Billion years ago is what has been thought about, right? Yeah, so this is how the Big Bang theory, they have claimed that this was the explosion that took place, and due to this explosion, uh, so due to this explosion, this particular event occurs. So here you can see that first few seconds, after 3 minutes, after so many years, after billion years. See how the photograph is, you can get these photographs, of course, but see how beautifully they have said. So this is the Big Bang. So this is the bang that is occurring, and this is the way it has resulted into. So these are the first few seconds, how the things progress, and look at it. After around 4 billion years or 4.5 billion years, the Earth was originated, is what has been assumed. Okay. So any doubt in this, Beta? What exactly? That is what they are saying. That you know, uh, there was like only a ball of heat, as they say. That because of that heat, there was tremendous pressure that was created inside, and that caused this blast. Okay, it was a ball, uh, a fireball, as we say. Okay, of out of which even sun has evolved eventually, is what is said. Okay, yeah. Then when we come to the Earth, Earth was formed around 4.5 billion years ago. There was no atmosphere on early Earth. There was no atmosphere on early Earth. Okay, water vapor, methane, ammonia, carbon dioxide were released from the molten mass. The UV rays from the sun split water into hydrogen and oxygen. Look at it. I mean, it's a story, okay? That water vapor, methane, ammonia, CO2, there's no oxygen anywhere. Can you see oxygen in that third sentence? No, there's no oxygen. In the fourth sentence, you can see that UV rays from the sunlight later on split the water into hydrogen and oxygen. That was the, formation of oxygen that later on or till now is present. So the lighter hydrogen gas escaped to the surface while, so of course, hydrogen is light. We know this, right? So the lighter hydrogen gas escaped from the surface while oxygen combined with other compounds like methane, ammonia to form water, carbon dioxide, etc. Okay, so this is how the story is moving around the universe as we say. From oxygen, ozone layer was formed. We know what is the formula of ozone? Can anyone tell me? It's 4.5 billion, beta. It's 4.5 billion. Yeah, who is this? Yes, yes, yes. Yes, all are correct. Correct, correct. So it is O3, right? Ozone. So oxygen combined with nascent oxygen, that is singular or you know uh, univalent of oxygen, and it formed O3 or ozone, right? As it cooled, the water vapor fell as rain. So as the temperature went down, there was condensation, as we say, and there was precipitation that was seen in the form of rainfall. It filled all the depressions to form the oceans. Life started appearing about 500 million years after the formation of Earth, that is about 4 billion years ago. Now, see, my dears, Earth originated 4.5 billion years ago, but life on Earth began after 500 million years. That is around 4 billion years पहले life has originated on Earth is what is being argued. Okay, so this is the Big Bang, which is about 15 billion years ago. Stars formation took place 10 billion years ago. 5 billion years ago, the sun ultimately, originated is what is being argued. This is the molten earth, which was 4.5 billion years ago, and first oceans formed were 3.8 billion years ago. Okay, so this is how the chronological order is seen in the universe, formation of the universe. Okay, understood? Any doubts over here? Any confusion about the earth past life? It's a very beautiful story, as I said. Na? It's a story. You just have to understand this as a story. Of course, but questions are asked on this, especially how many years ago was what. So, Earth, uh, the Big Bang happened when, the stars were formed at what time, when was the sun actually got originated, and all those things. Huh? During the explosion, so should no, it did not form during the explosion. During the explosion, nothing could form. It was just the separation of those pieces of fireballs. Okay. So what you want me to explain that? Fifth one, which is the fifth one, one, two, three, four, fifth. Huh. See, whenever the components were split, so when like they are saying the UV radiations, right, which were coming from the sun, they split H2O into H2 and oxygen, right? And then this H2 hydrogen was a lighter gas, so it moved or escaped from the surface, okay, to form your atmosphere eventually, right? While the oxygen, it combined with other compounds and formed the halides of oxides, okay? So different types of oxides were formed eventually because of the oxygen combinations. Okay, got it? Yeah. So that's about the Earth formation. Then what are the theories that are proposed for the origin of life? All these theories are very unique theories, but See, imagine that these were, presumed when there was no technology adopted. Okay. What is your doubt? Yeah. So that it can form a blanket of gases, na? What is atmosphere? It's going to be a blanket of gases, right? If that is not going to be there, na, then our Earth would be, uh, like a snowball. The temperature would decrease drastically, and no heat could be trapped on the, inside this uh, globe, and everywhere the temperature would be freezing zone. Okay, so we want the temperature, we want the heat to be trapped, and to trap the heat, we require the blanket of gases. That blanket of gases is going to be called as your atmosphere. Okay, well, what are the different theories? Theory of special creation, theory of panspermia, also called as cosmozoic theory, theory of spontaneous generation, theory of biogenesis, and theory of chemical evolution. So these five different theories have been put forward or have been argued for how life originated on Earth. So how Earth originated we saw, but how life originated on this Earth, there are these few theories which have been put forward. Okay, so some theories are very funny also. So let us see the special creation theory. Theory of special creation. Oldest of all the theories is the theory of special creation. It is proposed by a Spanish monk, Father Sudrez. You will have to remember his name. You will have to remember the name of the theory and who proposed it. So I have made it in blue specifically so that these 2 points have to be remembered. Theory of special creation proposed by Spanish monk Father Sudrez. What does it say? See, according to this theory, all the living beings on the earth were created by God, the supernatural part. So that is the reason it's called as special creation. Or he's a monk. See, basically he's a monk. So his way of analysis is something with respect to war, of course. All living organisms that we see today were created as such. So, according to him, there is nothing called as evolution that is taking place. According to him, whatever we are seeing right now was made with the will and wish of the God as it is. Okay? The diversity was always the same since creation and will remain the same in future also. That is what he thought that time. But now we know how much are we evolving every minute with respect to everything. But that was what Sudres had, proposed. The Earth is only about 4,000 years old. Was his way of, putting forward. It was supported by many religions and civilizations. All those who believed in God, they thought, yes, this is the way it is. But it was, of course, rejected. The reasons for rejection, it had no scientific base or proof. It did not prove evolution. So according to him, there is no evolution that is taking place, whereas we know that evolution is taking place, right? So theory of special creation was rejected on the two following reasons. But you'll have to remember that, Sudres, Father Sudres had proposed this particular theory, which did not have any scientific base, right? Theory of panspermia or cosmozoic theory. It was proposed by Richter in the year 1865. Some scientists believe that. Now, here, look at the word. They are saying some scientists. So, this is going to have some sort of um, scientific approach. Okay. So, some scientists believe that life has come on Earth from other planets or outer space. So, they said something is being transported from somewhere to the Earth. ओके, सो उनका कहना है कि अर्थ बना वैसे ही दूसरे भी कुछ प्लैनेट्स ऑलरेडी एग्जिस्ट करते हैं और उस प्लैनेट में से अपने अर्थ के ऊपर कुछ आके गिर रहा है इन द फॉर्म ऑफ लाइफ इज व्हाट इज panspermia theory. Okay, so here you can see this is our earth, right? And according to them, according to these group of scientists, these are pansperms which are coming and falling on the earth in the form of life. Early Greek philosophers, early Greek philosophers thought that there are certain units called as spores or pansperms which came on Earth along with meteorites, which when struck the barren Earth released the cosmozoa and helped in development of various creatures. Now this cosmozoa is, according to the modern thinking, it is the DNA. Okay, so they are saying pansperms. Pansperms means small units of propagules. So it could be any propagule, like it could be your spores, as we know. And these spores are coming and they are settling on the earth, and then they are germinating, or then they are, giving birth to the new small, minute microbes, or something like that way was thought. Reasons for rejection: it had no supporting proof. See, we are studying science, and science does not have any proof, it will not be accepted. So they require proofs, right? Yeah. In short, it says humans are aliens. Yeah, somewhat. They're coming from some different planet. Not only humans, life in general. According to the panspermia theory or the cosmozoic theory, which was proposed by Richter, according to him, what he's saying is all life forms are aliens only, is what is his way of explanation. They're coming from some different planet altogether, is what has been proposed. Okay, so this is cosmozoic theory, or it's also called as your panspermia theory. Any difficulty between understanding these? So supernatural put forward by Sudres. Panspermia put forward by Richter. Any doubts? Any doubts? Anyone having any difficulty in understanding? We'll go ahead. So out of the five, two theories, so simple here. है ना? Yeah. Theory of spontaneous generation, or it's called as autobiogenesis. Wait. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. When we go to another planet, we'll also be considered as aliens. Exactly. So, theory of spontaneous genesis or autobiogenesis, as we say, you can see the picture over here, the photograph that they have put forward. It was proposed by the Greek philosophers in 600 BC, and it was supported by Aristotle. Okay, what does it say? According to this theory, life originated from non living matter like straw, mud, or decaying. Okay, so according to this Greek philosophers, okay, they said that there is this non living thing which spontaneously gave rise to life. Okay, all of a sudden it gave rise to life. So, spontaneous generation was a popular theory until the early 19th century. See, this is your mud, or whatever it is, uh, and this resulted in the formation of these small maggots or eggs, as we say, which ultimately developed into this fly. So, the formation of living organisms from non-living matter was something associated with this spontaneous theory. Okay, but even eventually this was disregarded. Why was it rejected? Louis Pasteur disapproved this theory and gave the scientific explanation that life originated only from pre-existing life, which is called as biogenesis. So he said it is not abiogenesis, it is biogenesis. According to Louis Pasteur, he has proven this. But when you come to the chemical evolution theory, you will again come to this point, that is spontaneous generation was probably the right assumptions put forward by the Greek. Okay, when I'll come to chemical evolution. Anyway, so let us see how Louis Pasteur has proved this particular theory as wrong. So, theory of biogenesis proposed by Reddy, Spallanzani, and Louis Pasteur. So these three names have been regularly asked in theory of biogenesis. Along with Louis Pasteur, do not forget these two people, Francisco Redi and Spallanzani. These two names are very important. According to this theory, life originated from pre-existing life. Experimental proof, look at the setup, how they had made this. See this. He showed that in pre-sterilized flasks, life did not come from killed yeast, while in another flask open to air, new organisms arose from killed yeast. So here you can see these two are boiling. You can see the fumes coming. Okay. So here you can see the fumes are coming, right? And after fumes means they are sterilizing it, right? So after sterilization, they have kept this jar open and this jar closed. You can see over here at the base, they are added the yeast and the yeast is killed after boiling. Now they are saying that when this is closed, according to the theory of abiogenesis, life should have originated in this broth, which is sterilized broth, but there is no life originating here. On the other hand, when it is exposed, it's kept open, here there is growth, is what has been argued. Of course, we know that this flask was open, so there could be any contamination that took place. Maybe the insects, eggs, or something could have been, encountered over here, or any microbes would have grown over here, and that is the reason that they are capable of growth. So, what is the reason for rejection? It did not answer how the first form of life came on the earth. Okay, chalo, fine. Life exists from the pre-existing life, but the pre-existing के लिए life आया कहाँ से? That couldn't be explained by this theory of biogenesis. Could they explain this? No. So again, this theory also was rejected. That was put forward by Redi, Spallanzani, and Louis Pasteur. Remember the three names, huh? Right? Then what happens? Modern self-assembly theories. So then came up with the modern self-assembly. They are self-assembled theories. What do you mean by that? It was proposed by Leninger and Fox along with Lose. Okay. Now Leninger है ना बेटा, ये नाम बहुत बड़ा नाम है. आप अगर आगे जाके मेडिकल ले लो, या आप माइक्रोबायोलॉजी ले लो, या आप बायोकेमिस्ट्री ले लो, या आप बायोटेक्नोलॉजी ले लो, आप आगे कोई भी स्ट्रीम लेते हो ना, तो आपको लेनिंजर भाई साहब का एक टेक्स्ट बुक है आपके करिकुलम में. And Leninger is actually, he's a biochemist and he has written a very beautiful book on biochemistry, basically on chemistry it is, and it is associated with our life, okay, our cells and all. So हमारे कोई भी आगे आप कोई भी साइंस स्ट्रीम लेते हो ना, तो आपको लेनिंजर पढ़ना पड़ता है. बहुत ज़्यादा बड़ा नहीं है, इतना बड़ा है. अभी भी मेरे घर पे है, इतना बड़ा है, ज़्यादा बड़ा नहीं है, ओनली दिस मच. Okay, so Mr. Leninger is very famous and he had given this modern self-assembly theory, okay, along with Fox and Dose. According to this theory, origin of life on Earth, which is called as protobiogenesis, occurred due to the inherent property of chemical molecules of self-organization. So as I said, Leninger is a chemist. He is actually, written books on chemistry. Okay. So these books, are like he is always going to think from the chemistry point of view. So look at his argument. He's saying that the inherent property of chemical molecules to self-assemble, to self-organize, led to the first life. So according to him, micromolecules to macromolecules, macromolecules to microsystems, which are called as our organized cells. These organized cells to macrosystems, that is your organ or your tissue, tissue to organ, organ to organization, and organization to organism, is what is the sequence what Leninger has put forward. Now this seems to be a bit logical, है ना? correct? Because in anabolism we know that these type of events do occur in our cells. That is from amino acids, which are micromolecules, they'll form proteins, which are the macromolecules. They will be a component of your cell membrane to form your cells, and eventually it's going to be, like one grade ऊपर जाते जाते. So ये थोड़ा scientific और logical लगता है Leninger जो put forward कर रहे हैं, right? But look at the year बेटा, 1970. तो अभी उन्होंने ये बताया है, so that is so look at the advancement ना. Look at that particular time 600 BC, and look at this particular proposition is 1970. So 68, 70 and 72 abhi recently, right? So yeah, for us it is recently because it's very close to our birth years, 1972 and all, right? So it was like, it's recent. So this theory is like फिर भी accepted वाला, it is not yet rejected. ठीक है. हाँ, what is your doubt बेटा? People who put forward all these theories while they were discovering them, when they see the flaws in their theories before others disapprove them. See, whenever you want to put forward your point na, you will be very adamant on your point, not considering the negativity. Even you take any argument, you argue with your parents also na, what happens? You want to prove your point. Your parents will tell you, अरे बाबा ऐसे मत करो, it is not good for you, it is not known what you understand, you don't know anything, only I know. आपको कुछ नहीं आता है, आप समझते ही नहीं हो, आप मेरा पर्सपेक्टिव ही नहीं समझ सकते हो, है या नहीं? ये आर्गुमेंट होती है कि नहीं आपके और आपके पेरेंट्स के बीच में? So same way, okay, when they had proposed, they were adamant on their point. Later on, there were other scientists who came up and they said, see, this was the reason that we said, no, this is wrong. Okay, so that happens, वो चलता रहता है. साइंटिफिक केस में भी चलता रहता है और अपने डे टू डे लाइफ में भी चलता रहता है ना? Okay, so let us see about the next one. See, first clear-cut demonstration was given by Schmidt. He synthesized collagen from simple micromolecules. You know what is collagen made up of? Come on, what is collagen? Can anyone tell me what is collagen? Elastin and collagen. Come on, beta. What is collagen? Very good. Yes, Shruti, you're right. Come on, others. Kindly answer this. Yes, Viva, right. Yes. Parnavi, you're right, beta. Yes, you're right. Yeah. So it's basically going to be your yellow fibers, as we say, or white fibers, as we say. What is it? Is it white or is it yellow? Collagen is what color and elastin is what color? Yes. Okay. So this you might have done in structural unit of life, that is tissue. Tissue में आपने किया होगा ये, है ना? Yeah. So in the same way, Schmidt was the one who first artificially synthesized collagen from micromolecules. Okay. This particular theory was supported by Reeve. He demonstrated an inter-macromolecular assembly by assembling two protein molecules, which resulted into enzymatically active complexes. Now, what see each one of them now, they are in what we say, कौन से पार्टी में है? तो मॉडर्न सेल्फ असेंबली थ्योरी सही है, ये पार्टी में ये लोग, ओके, प्रपोज किया था लेनिंजर ने, फॉक्स ने और डोस ने, लेकिन उसको सपोर्ट कैसे ये लोग कर रहे हैं देखो. जैसे श्मिट ने ये कोलाजन फाइबर्स बनाए हैं, रीड ने क्या किया, he placed two proteins together, okay, and this resulted into an enzymatically active complex, means it resulted into the formation of enzymes eventually, right? Supported by Frankel, Conrad and Ramchandran along with Casper. Ramchandran, of course, नाम से पता चल रहा है, he's an Indian. Okay, they proved that proteins and nucleic acids in the tobacco mosaic virus also form intermolecular assembly. Okay, so they prove that proteins and nucleic acids in TMB. You know what is TMB, na? Tobacco mosaic virus. Okay, also form intermolecular assembly. Right. So these all are supporting this modern self-assembly theory. Did you all understand this? Anyone having any difficulty in understanding this particular content, beta? Anyone who has not understood this? Clear? So micromolecules to macromolecules, macromolecules to microsystems. Okay? Yeah. So here's Mr. Oparin and here's Mr. Halden who has proposed the Oparin-Halden hypothesis. Now this is the theory of chemical evolution. It was proposed by Alexander Oparin, who belongs to Russia, and J.B.S. Halden, who is a British, who is, from England. They proposed that first life form would have come from pre-existing non-living molecule. So I told you when I come to chemical evolution, आपको लगेगा वो spontaneous theory शायद सही है, because even spontaneous theory was saying what, that life originated from non-living objects like straw, mud, etc. Right? And Oparin and Halden have also proposed the same thing, saying that the life originated from non-living molecules, but they are not saying it is straw or mud. What are they saying? They are saying like RNA, proteins, etc. And that formation of life proceeded by chemical evolution. Okay, so uh, here if you can just correlate the things, that is RNA है, प्रोटीन्स है, इनका जो है एक क्या कहते हैं, एक केमिकल कॉम्बिनेशन बनता है एंड फॉर्मेशन ऑफ लाइफ प्रीसीडेड बाय केमिकल एवोल्यूशन. तो लाइफ प्रीसीडेड एंड प्रोसीडेड, व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन प्रीसीड एंड प्रोसीड? प्रीसीड का मतलब क्या होता है बेटा? व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय द वर्ड प्रीसीड? What do you mean by the word precede? Before, exactly. So, before the life could begin, this is what has happened in nature, is what these two people are arguing. That is, formation of diverse organic molecules were formed from inorganic constituents. Okay? The conditions on the earth that favored chemical evolution were very high temperatures, volcanic storms, and reducing atmosphere that contained methane, ammonia, water vapor, etc. Now, my dears, please remember this. In the beginning, at the time, early times, it was what, that the atmosphere was, which type of atmosphere? It was reducing atmosphere. What do you mean by the word reducing? Come on. What do you mean by the word reducing, my dears? Can you all tell me what is reducing? Oxidizing and reducing. Come on, I want answers from you. What is reducing? Yes, yes. Correct, correct. Yeah, perfect. Yes. So, so here it was reducing type of atmosphere in the beginning. In the beginning of life, it was the reducing type of atmosphere. A frequent question that has been asked several times in your examinations. So how was the condition? See, the condition on the earth that favored chemical evolution were very high temperatures, volcanic storms, reducing atmosphere that contained methane, ammonia, and water vapor. So there is no oxygen that is going to be present over here. Early life. Okay. Then we have explained the steps of chemical evolution. They are saying origin of Earth and its primitive atmosphere. Earth originated around 4.5 to 4.6 billion years ago. When it was broken from the sun, it was a glowing fire and a rotating cloud of hot gases, vapors, various elements, pieces of rocks and metals, which were called as nebulous. ये word सुना है nebula? Nebula ये word सुना है बेटा? हाँ मतलब या correct. So what is this nebula बेटा? Yes. So that is what they are saying. A collection of all these, a collection of all these things is what we called as nebula. Okay. This mass of gases exploded with a big bang into several small pieces. Okay, it was a fire. It was a fireball, right? The earth as a piece was broken from the sun is what the chemical evolution is saying. As the earth started moving away from the sun, the temperature slowly decreased, resulting in condensation of gases. The heavy metals like iron, nickel, they were heavy. So they sank to the center and they formed the solid core of the earth. So even today, if you start digging the earth and come to the center of it, you can see these heavy metals are going to be found in the center of the earth. So they are arguing that it was from that time that this has already been collected at the center of the earth. Okay. The lightest elements like helium, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, carbon, etc., occupy the atmosphere of the earth. So earlier also this argument we had seen that hydrogen being light in weight escaped from the surface, right? And they went to form a blanket of gases, which is now called as the atmosphere. It had still the reducing type of atmosphere. Okay, so this is what they are saying. There was a split. You can see over here in the photograph, there is a splitting of this particular piece, and this moved away from the sun, and it started, like cooling and condensations took place, and all these things happen. And finally, they are saying this is how, chemical evolution is supporting the Earth's formation, and now, of course, the life formation. Correct? Understood this? So these are the steps. These are the steps. Fine. Any doubts? Just check. Just check if you have got any doubts. I'll just come in a minute. Yeah. Any doubts in this? There's a box. I need to clear the box. Yeah. So any difficulty in understanding this particular slide, beta? Understood this? Steps of they are now they are seeing the steps of chemical evolution. Okay. So how chemical evolution has been discussed in this has been, you know, proposed. So right from the Earth evolution to the life formation, everything is given in this chemical evolution step. Okay. Yeah. Second step they are saying formation of ammonia, water, and methane. Okay. So first they said how life, how Earth was being formed. Then on the Earth, what has happened is something that they are going to discuss now. So the primitive Earth contained large amount of hydrogen, nitrogen, carbon, and oxygen. Hydrogen and nitrogen combined together to form ammonia. Hydrogen plus oxygen made water. Hydrogen plus carbon made methane. So look at it. It's giving a very scientific approach that how the things are combining together and how the things are being formed. As the temperature was still high, ammonia and methane remained as gases, and water was in the form of steam because of high temperatures. As years passed, steam condensed into water, resulting in rain that cooled the earth, right? Water gradually accumulated and led to the formation of rivers, streams, lakes, seas, oceans, etc. Now the gases started dissolving in water. See, it's a story which is acceptable ना कि पहले सिर्फ हाइड्रोजन था सिर्फ नाइट्रोजन था उसके बाद ये कंबाइन होने लगे, they started making mixture of different gases, then water was condensed होके पानी in the form of river oceans बने, then the gases started dissolving in them, so here you can see NH3 का formation, H2O, correct, CH4, methane. So this particular approach seems to be very like foolproof, एक्सेप्ट कर सकते हैं ऐसा वाला लगता है इसको देखकर, हाँ या ना, है ना? Yes. Any difficulty here, beta? Any problem with this particular slide? Anyone having any difficulty in this slide? Yeah, everything is non-living only. Everything is non-living, beta. है किसी को डाउट? देखो फटाफट, ये इवेंट्स समझ में आ रहे हैं, राइट? ओके, the third step they are saying is synthesis of simple organic compounds. So first step was what was the first step? How earth evolved, correct? What was the second thing that they said? How gases evolved, how water was formed. Now they are saying the third step is the formation of micromolecules. So see, as the temperature of the earth further cooled down, the highly reactive free radicals, that is CH and CH2, condensed to form a variety of both unsaturated and saturated hydrocarbons. Now we are talking about the chemistry actually. ये बायो कम और केमिस्ट्री ज्यादा लग रहा है ना? तो देखो बेटा, केमिस्ट्री एंड बायोलॉजी बोलने के लिए दो सब्जेक्ट्स है, लेकिन दे आर internally connected only, and this particular chemistry is only going to be called as biochemistry. Okay, effect of UV rays, radiations, lightning, volcanic activities resulted in polymerization, condensation, oxidation, and reduction reactions on hydrocarbons, ammonia, and water. So this seems to be very logical, isn't it? Correct, कि रेडिएशंस के वजह से, लाइटनिंग के वजह से, वोल्केनिक एक्टिविटीज के वजह से क्या हो गया? पॉलीमराइजेशन भी हुआ, कई कुछ जगह पर कंडेंसेशन हुआ, ऑक्सीडेशन हुआ, रिडक्शन हुआ, है ना? ओके, किस पे हुआ ये सब? हाइड्रोकार्बन्स पे, अमोनिया पे और वाटर पे, जो हमने सेकेंड स्टेप में कैसे बना वो देखा हुआ है. वी हैव ऑलरेडी सीन हाउ द अमोनिया, वाटर, हाइड्रोकार्बन्स हैव बीन फॉर्म्ड इन द सेकेंड स्टेप, right? Now, this resulted in the formation of biologically important molecules like monosaccharides, amino acids, purines, pyrimidines, fatty acids, glycerol, etc. Now, don't you think that all these are micromolecules basically, right? So, chemical evolution is also proving that how micromolecules have been originated on the earth. ठीक है? JBS Haldane described the sea containing these molecules as hot dilute soup, or it's called as primitive broth. Almost एक साल छोड़ के alternate years पे ये dilute soup, hot dilute soup के ऊपर question आता है बेटा. So what exactly is this hot dilute soup? Hot dilute soup is the term given by Haldane. To whom? To the sea containing all these macromolecules like monosaccharides, amino acids, purines, pyrimidines, fatty acids, glycerol during that time. Okay, got it? The unique feature of this broth was that the molecules did not show any degradation, as there was no free oxygen available at that time, and there were no enzymes that had been formed till now. So there was nothing called as degradation. See, enzymes available होंगे ना तो degradation चालू हो जाता है, right? Hydrolases, lipases, all these, right? But because there were no enzymes that time that were formed only, there's no question of degradation at all, correct? And there's no oxygen available. Okay, so there was no free oxygen. So because there was no free oxygen, there was no destruction, or there were no reactions taking place for breaking down of any substances. ठीक है, got it? So first, second, third step, all three steps clear. Here you can see in the diagram, of course, very clearly. We have seen this in biomolecules chapter as well. Monosaccharides, how they are going to be formed, amino acids, glycerol. These are your purines and pyrimidines. Pyrimidine is cytosine, uracil, thymine, and purine is your adenine and guanine. And this is your unsaturated fatty acid. This is your saturated fatty acid, right? So all these are coming under your third step, which are going to be called as micromolecules, formation of micromolecules. Look at the fourth step, formation of complex organic matter. Simple organic substances formed now collided with each other. They reacted and aggregated, forming new complex molecules. So monosaccharides aligned together to form polysaccharides. Glycerol and fatty acids, they align together to form your lipids. है ना? The nitrogen bases along with sugars and phosphates came together and they formed your nucleotides, nucleosides, right? So complex molecules like polysaccharides, fats, proteins, nucleosides, nucleotides were thus formed. Some proteins now started showing the enzymatic nature. So when these proteins were formed, some of them acted as enzymes. The formation वो ही नहीं है वो the है. The formation of protein molecules is considered as a landmark in the origin of life. Again, a famous question: which particular molecule is considered as a hallmark in the origin of life? So it's going to be your protein molecule. Is it fine? Understood this? So look at the, build up stepwise how chemical evolution is proving that how life has originated. अभी तक एक्चुअल लाइफ के तक आए नहीं है हम लोग, वो स्टेप वाइज उन्होंने बताया हुआ है. बट हैव यू ऑल अंडरस्टूड ऑल द स्टेप्स टिल नाउ, ऑल द 4 स्टेप्स? एनी डिफिकल्टी इन दैट बेटा? सो विच इज द फर्स्ट स्टेप? Formation of earth. Which is the second step? Formation of gases. Which is the third step? Formation of macromolecules. Which is the fourth step? Formation of complex organic matter. All 4 steps clear? Any difficulty? Sure. Look at the fifth one. Nucleic acids was formed by the aggregation of phosphoric acid, sugar, purines, pyrimidines, which was formed in the fourth step. They were linked to form different types of nucleotides. Thousands of nucleotides joined together to ultimately form the nucleic acids. It acquired self-replicating ability. Why? Why was this self-replicating ability? It was due to the presence of enzymes now. So these enzymes initiated this self-replicating ability, which is a fundamental property of all living forms. So now there arose your DNA and RNA. Got it? Understood? So DNA and RNA are also, the way they have been proposed, that how DNA and RNA has been, formed, is a very logical way of explanation. So Haldane and Oparin, Oparin and Haldane's hypothesis proves all these things, and which is very logical. Don't you all think? So अब DNA आ गया मतलब life originate होने के पूरे chances आ गए हैं. DNA आया मतलब correct है, right? Yeah. So this is how your DNA and RNA has been formed, which is the fifth. Clear? Look at the sixth step, formation of protobions or pre-cells, or we call them as coacervates. So coacervates ये word आपके NCERT में है नहीं, but it's there in your common textbook. And in your board exams, they ask you define coacervates. Okay. So what are coacervates? Let us understand. The nucleic acid, along with inorganic and organic molecules, formed the protobions or pre-cells. Fine. So the DNA and RNA, especially, along with inorganic molecules and organic molecules, together, assembled together, and these assembled structures were called as coacervates, prebions, protobions, or pre-cells. Okay, the proteins form colloidal hydrophilic complexes surrounded by water. Oparin and Fox demonstrated the formation of this aqueous suspensions of polymers. So this particular experiment was artificially done by Oparin and Fox, where they actually did this in their lab, and they came to a conclusion that this is the way the polymers were formed. Okay. Oparin called these aggregates as coacervates, while Sidney Fox called them as protenoids or microspheres. Now, my dears, these all are synonyms. These all are synonyms. Coacervates, microspheres, protenoids. Okay, these all are synonyms of each other. So अगर एग्जाम में इनमें से कोई भी वर्ड आता है ना बेटा, तो टेंशन मत लो, ये एक ही है. क्या है वो? न्यूक्लिक एसिड along with inorganic and organic molecules to form the structure called as pre-cells or protobions. And these pre-cells or protobions which are going to be formed will be then having a colloidal hydrophilic complex surrounded by water. Okay, and this entire structure will be called as your coacervate. So here you can see this is your protein, this is your polysaccharide, right? These two are coming together over here where DNA and RNA would be present, and these will then form coacervates in aggregated. Okay, so nucleic acid along with inorganic organic molecules समझा. So proteins polysaccharides के जैसे सब मिलाकर इधर पानी आजू बाजू में है surrounded by water. Okay, so these would be called as your coacervates या फिर microspheres. Any doubt in understanding any part of this protobions, pre-cells, coacervates, microspheres, protenoids? कोई भी वर्ड नहीं समझा है तो बोलो बेटा. All understood? Great. Look at the seventh step, formation of first cell. So eventually the chemical evolution is coming to the actual content. The first cell, life, how did it originate? The nucleic acid in the pre-cells had the capacity to multiply, but gradually it started directing series of chemical reactions like protein synthesis. So there's a chapter called as molecular basis of inheritance, wherein we'll be actually seeing that how the proteins are going to be synthesized. Okay, very soon we'll be seeing how these proteins have been synthesized in that particular chapter, very clearly and very beautifully explained in the form of transcription and translation. This was the significant step in the transformation of pre-cell into a cell. So the pre-cells to become cells, what happens? See, directing a series of chemical reactions like protein synthesis. So in these pre-cells, when protein synthesis occurs, okay, these pre-cells would now be called as true cells. Fine. This chemical evolution led to biological evolution. So now a biological entity was born. A cell is born means what is born, beta? A biological entity is born. So from chemical evolution, now we go ahead with the biological evolution. So the 7 steps of chemical evolution. Have every one of you all understood this? Huh? So see, this is your simple reproduction, simple metabolism. So the cells are now detecting all these particular events. So glucose, phosphate, phosphorylase, starch, amylase, maltose, all these are your enzymes now, right? Substrates and enzymes. So this is how the first cell was formed. So how earth was formed to the first cell was formed. Any difficulty in this? Any difficulty? So have you all understood what is chemical evolution perfectly with all the 7 steps? Now this is going to be a 4-mark question for your board exams. This is the 4-mark question, my dears, that explain chemical evolution along with the Oparin-Halden's theory or hypothesis. So these 7 things you have to write. It comes for 5 marks. Sorry, comes for 5 marks. 4 नहीं, 5 marks. तो 5 मार्क्स के लिए आपको ये 7 स्टेप एक्सप्लेन करने पड़ेंगे. बोर्ड में ये आता है. ओके, गॉट दिस? फाइन. So now we have to come to what? The chemical evolution led to what? Biological evolution. So now we are going to talk about the biological perspective of evolution. Okay. So the first cell or the primitive cell were marine and heterotrophic in nature. Right? So इसलिए कहा जाता है कि life first originated in water. Have you all heard this? Life originated in water करके सुना है आपने? Yeah, exactly. So life originated in water is what has been assumed because of this particular reason. Growth, yeah, yes, yes. First water and then animals evolved. Very good. Yes, yes, you're right, Manju. The first cell or the primitive cell were marine and heterotrophic in nature. Growth and multiplication of these cells caused depletion of food and increase in CO2 concentration due to fermentation. Agreed? This caused mutation. CO2 concentration इतना बढ़ गया fermentation की वजह से. Now this caused mutation which resulted in the development of chromophores. So formation of chromophores was a result of mutation. Chromophores now had the ability to trap the sunlight. Why chromophores were going to be formed, you know? Because there was depletion of food. अगर फूड है ही नहीं अवेलेबल तो दूसरा कोई कुछ ना कुछ तो रिसोर्स होना चाहिए कि नहीं कि एनर्जी मिले. See, when the whenever a particular thing gets completely used up, we search for some alternative, right? We always search for some alternative. So here also they were searching for some alternative. Who these first cells, these primitive cells, okay, they were searching for some other alternative for energy because whatever food was available was depleted by these cells. That time we used to call them as cells, right? Now they had to have another sort of a mechanism or an alternative form of a mechanism where they would not fall short of energy. So to make that thing happen, there was a mutation that took place, causing them to be now called as what? Formation of chromophores. Chromo means color. Okay. So these chromophores, now we know that they are going to be called as the chloroplast eventually, है ना? But that time it was the chromophore. Now these chromophores had the capacity to absorb the sunlight and convert it into the chemical energy that is ATP. So you understood how the biological evolution has taken place now, right? So chromophores had the ability to trap the sunlight and convert solar energy into chemical energy. Thus, heterotrophs transformed into autotrophs. How beautiful the story is, see? मतलब ये कहानी है रे, कैसे आगे आगे वो कनेक्ट हो रहा है, कैसे आगे जा रहे हैं हम लोग, कैसे इवॉल्व हो रहे हैं करके, है ना? ब्यूटीफुल स्टोरी, राइट? Now, due to the release of oxygen as a byproduct of photosynthesis, the primitive reducing atmosphere was slowly and gradually getting converted into oxidizing atmosphere. तो अब तक reducing atmosphere था because free oxygen available नहीं था, right? But eventually as autotrophs, and you know, autotrophs may the first one to give out oxygen were your cyanobacteria, right? Blue-green algae are called as what? Pioneers of oxygenic photosynthesis, right? So these tree cells which develop the chromophores were probably your cyanobacteria who gave out oxygen as a byproduct, causing the reducing atmosphere to gradually and slowly convert into oxidizing atmosphere. How beautiful, see? Hai ya nahi? Yeah. So this is how, now these are your pre-cells as they call, but we know that now we call them as what? Now we call them as bacteria, right? Eubacteria, archaebacteria, साइनोबैक्टीरिया, ये देखो, ये नोस्टॉक, ओलोसोरिया, ऑसिलोटोरिया, एनाबेना, है ना, ये सारे नाम हमने सुने हुए हैं, करेक्ट। तो ये जो सारे हैं ना, दीज आर गोइंग टू बी योर बैक्टीरिया बेसिकली, राइट, अंडरस्टूड दिस। सो एनी डाउट इन दिस बायोलॉजिकल एवोल्यूशन का पार्ट समझने में कोई तकलीफ है बेटा? Anyone who did not understand any point or want me to repeat any point? No? All have understood? Oh, fine. Good. It's easy and it's very interesting, actually. Yeah. So this was the 8 steps that led to the life, but there was these two scientists called as Urey and Miller, yeah, Miller and Urey as we say. They started, understanding these. Actually, they were studying about the origin and evolution in their as their project, and then they came up with actual setup of the evolution. So they, whatever they had heard of, like now today you have heard about all these things, right? So in the same way, these Miller and Urey, they had heard about all these events that are occurring in the, or the steps that are involved in the evolution. Now what did they do? They actually set up an experimental setup, stating that this is how the chemical evolution is correct or proved. So to prove the chemical evolution, this Miller's and Urey's experiment is very, very famous. This also comes in your board exams for explanation. So please pay attention to Miller and Urey's experiment. What is the experimental setup? They had spark discharge apparatus. What is the name of the Miller and Urey's experiment ka setup beta? Spark discharge apparatus. ठीक है? It has a large spark discharge glass chamber fitted with tungsten electrodes. So here you can see in this diagram very clearly. See, can you see this? This is your spark discharge apparatus having your tungsten electrodes. See, electrodes discharge sparks, lightning simulation. Here you can see this. Okay, these are two electrodes, and this is going to be your spark discharge glass chamber. Flask for boiling of water. Here you can see this is the flask very clearly, right? That is going to be associated with what beta? Boiling of water. So here you can see heated water, which is going to be, similar to your ocean conditions. A side tube connected to the vacuum pump. Okay, so you can see this is going to be the side tube, and it is going to be having vacuum pumps associated with it. A cooling jacket and a U-shaped trap. So yes, you can see there is a condenser and water will be flowing for cooling U-shaped trap. This is a trap wherein the things will be collected. Fine. So this is the Miller and Urey. What is Miller and Urey's apparatus पूछा, तो ये सारी चीजें आपको बतानी है और आपको यही फॉर्मेट में आंसर लिखना है आपके बोर्ड्स में भी. Okay, so this is the experimental setup. Look at the procedure. So what did they do? They first evacuated the entire apparatus and made it sterile so that no life is going to be available over there. Sterile means completely free of life. Water was partially added to the flask. Mixture of methane, ammonia, hydrogen in the ratio of 1:2:2 was slowly passed through the stopcock without the air entry. So they had prevented the air entry, okay, but they had, you know, passed these gases, created prebiotic atmosphere. So in the chemical evolution, we saw the second step now. Similar way, they pass these methane, ammonia, hydrogen into that essence. Okay, which was similar to what? Prebiotic atmosphere. So they created this prebiotic atmosphere in that round glass. Water was boiled at a very low temperature to form vapor, simulating ocean of primitive Earth. So that resembled the ocean of the primitive Earth. What? The boiling of water at low temperatures, right? Water vapor, along with other gases, were circulated continuously through the high electric spark of 75,000 volts. This mixture was exposed continuously to electric discharge, simulating lightning. So वो time पे जो lightning हुआ था because of high temperatures and all, so that was similar to that condition, lightning wala condition, which was done by the electrode sparks. Okay, for several days, causing them to interact. This mixture of gases was then passed through the condenser, where it condensed to form the liquid. राइट, तो राइट साइड में हमने देखा था वो कंडेंसर है ना, तो वहां से जब वेपर पास होगा तो इट यूज टू गेट कंडेंस. द लिक्विफाइड मिक्सचर वाज देन ऑब्जर्व. सो ये गैसेस पास होने के बाद whatever that gases, when they pass through the condenser and they form the liquid, this liquid was collected and this liquid was analyzed, see what it contained now. Okay, got it? Yeah. So this is how the procedure is. Any doubt in this? Now let us later on see that what they observed. But any difficulty in understanding the procedure, my dears? Anyone who has not understood the procedure? Understood? Okay. What did they observe? A variety of simple organic compounds, especially amino acids and sugars, were formed. So what they had thought was very true, na? That monosaccharides, polysaccharides, है ना, they would ultimately form. Then there would be formation of amino acids and proteins. So they have found out this, that ये artificially सिर्फ मीथेन, अमोनिया और हाइड्रोजन डाला था और उनको इलेक्ट्रोड से पास कराकर वहां पर लाइटनिंग इफेक्ट दिया था और फिर वो जो हीटेड पेपर थी वो पास हो रही थी थ्रू द कंडेंसर, राइट. और ये जो लिक्विड है वो कलेक्ट करने के बाद ये लिक्विड में कहाँ से अमीनो एसिड्स आ गए, कहाँ से शुगर्स आ गए, फ्रॉम दीज थिंग्स ओनली. सो द स्टेप 3 has now been proved over here, correct? So what is the inference, beta? They provided experimental proof that essential building blocks like nucleotides, amino acids, etc. for the first living organisms could have been formed from the primordial earth. The synthesis of the first formed proteins was probably non-enzymatic. Enzymes अभी तक कुछ आए नहीं हैं. Analysis of meteorite content also revealed similar compounds. Thus, chemical evolution was more or less accepted. मतलब 90% of the things were okay in place, so it was almost, more or less means almost accepted. So in this way, you can see Earth's prebiotic atmosphere and Earth's modern atmosphere. Okay, weakly reducing atmosphere, oxidizing atmosphere as of now. ठीक है. So any difficulty in understanding these things? सेम केमिकल एवोल्यूशन जो हमने 7 स्टेप्स देखे थे वही यहाँ पर प्रूव हो रहे हैं बाय मिलर एंड ओरेज एक्सपेरिमेंट. नो डाउट, क्लियर, एवरीथिंग क्लियर, नाइस ना. ये वाला चैप्टर एकदम कनेक्टेड लगते हैं ना हम लोग इससे. ओके फाइन. सो to summarize the things what we have understood, the first non-cellular form of life could have originated 3 billion years ago. They would have been giant molecules like RNA, proteins, or polysaccharides. These capsules were able to replicate or reproduce. The first cellular forms of life must have appeared about less than 2 billion years ago. They must have been single cells. All life forms have appeared in the water body. This is the theory of abiogenesis. Once formed, these single cells must have evolved into diverse complex organisms of today, right? So you can see over here, like this is your RNA, or like these are your uh, proteins. Now they have got these covering, and it has formed a pre-cell, and how the DNA, how everything assembled together to form the actual cells which we see today. Is the summary. Diverse complex organisms would be plants, animals, multicellular organisms, right? They are various different. Diverse means different, बेटा. Okay? कॉम्प्लेक्स है हम लोग सब, मल्टीसेल्युलर है, कॉम्प्लेक्स है, हमारे में बहुत सारे ऑर्गन सिस्टम्स हैं, so we are complex, right? Got it? Any difficulty in this? Any difficulty in this? No? Okay, good. Yeah. Now they are saying that life कैसे originate हुआ, ये तो prove हो गया. अब what are the evolution of life theories that we have to understand? So first we understood how Earth originated, right? Then we saw how life originated. And now we are going to argue after origin of life, how life has evolved, how life forms have evolved, how life is, moving from one stage to another stage, right? So evolution of life, you can see एक बूढ़े अंकल का फोटोग्राफ आपको दिखाई दे रहा है बेटा. He is Mr. Darwin. He is Mr. Charles Darwin. Okay. And नीचे you can see एक ओशन दिखाई दे रहा है और एक बहुत अच्छी मस्त you can see you know the water vessel on it. And what is the significance of this water vessel and Darwin is something we have to understand in a very beautiful way. Okay. So the different theories that were put forward by different scientists were challenged in the 19th century by Charles Darwin. So जितने भी लाइफ के लिए जो हमने 5 अभी theories देखे हैं, almost all of them were challenged by Charles Darwin. Okay, why and how is something we have to understand. Charles Darwin was born in the year 1809 and he died in the year 1882. Okay, he was a British naturalist. During a sea voyage in a sail ship called as HMS Beagle round the world, he made many observations, deductions, and conclusions. So, this particular Charles Darwin was in a sail ship called as HMS Beagle. Several times this question has been asked. What was the name of the vessel that was used by Charles Darwin to make a trip around the world? So he moved all over the world via the sea route using this HMS Beagle. Okay, got it? So देखो, आपको इधर से इधर जाने के लिए बोर लगता है, ये भाई साहब कितने साल तक वो हाँ सी सेल करते रहे, है ना? पूरे वर्ल्ड टूर कराई है उन्होंने, किस में बैठकर? HMS बीगल में बैठकर. ओके, दिस वाज आस्क्ड इन KBC. Oh, I don't know, but yeah, this is asked in your exams also, huh? That what is the name of the vessel, what is the name of the sail ship that Darwin traveled around the world, ऐसा आता है, बहुत बार आता है. Okay, yeah, so it was HMS Beagle. He concluded that, and what he did not go there to do time pass. He did not go there as an enjoyment, as a picnic. He went around the world for observation, deductions, and conclusions. So his aim was very much like precise. He knew कि मुझे घूमने के लिए नहीं जाने का है भाई, मुझे किसके लिए जाने का है, स्टडी पर्पस के लिए जाने का. तो उन्होंने जो स्टडी किया वो उन्होंने पुट फॉरवर्ड भी किया है. तो व्हाट हैज ही कंक्लूडेड? सी, he concluded that existing life forms share similarities to varying degrees, not among themselves, but also with the life forms that existed millions of years ago. So we share some similarities with the life forms which were millions of years ago. Okay. He said extinctions of different life forms took place. Also, new life forms arose at different periods of the history of the earth. So some species have become extinct, some species have been newly added or newly found. This all comes under the history of earth. He postulated the theory of origin of species by natural selection. अब डार्विन जैसे ही आ जाते हैं भाई साहब, तो दो चीजें आपको बार बार सुनने के लिए मिलेगी। क्या? सर्वाइवल ऑफ द फिटेस्ट एंड नेचुरल सिलेक्शन। ओके, तो ये जो नेचुरल सिलेक्शन है ना, इट इज पॉपुलरली नोन एज डार्विनिज्म। फाइन। सिलेक्शन, कैसा सिलेक्शन? Natural selection, the nature selects the best is what Darwin is saying. So the extinctions which had happened in the primitive eras, according to Darwin, they were, not capable of being selected by nature. Means they were not competent enough for survival, and therefore they became extinct. Is what Charles Darwin says. And this phenomena of natural selection is going to be called as Darwinism. देखो अभी भी Darwinism है, आज भी Darwinism है. There are so many people who are infected with COVID, right? Agreed. You see every day, you hear from many resources that COVID की वजह से इतने infected हो गए, so many numbers. But on the same hand, you also get the news that इतने recoveries है. Now they are saying the recovery rate has reached something around कुछ 83% or 93, I don't know. कुछ ऐसा अच्छा खासा नंबर बता रहे हैं रिकवरी रेट का. इसका मतलब nature has selected them to survive by combating the COVID infection. Okay, so Darwinism exists today also, and those who succumbed to this particular COVID, according to Darwinism, they were not fit to sustain and survive in this condition. So the nature did not support them as life. Okay, so that is Darwinism. So Darwin always believed in what? Natural selection. ठीक है, समझा? तो ये देखो बेटा, ये एक्चुअल में HMS बीगली है, ये कोई भी ऐसा फोटो निकाल के नहीं डाला है. I've got the books with me, my old books are there with me, and in that particular books ना ये सारे photographs, see it's black and white photographs, you can see. तो वो books में है मेरे, और they have been taken from there itself. Of course you may get it on net, but ये जो है ये true photographs है, actual photographs है. Okay. On what basis one is selected? On nature's basis. The nature is the one who will support or not support the life forms. Okay, the nature will decide. Therefore, it's called as natural selection. Fine. Yeah, you can see the book. This is the book that I have actually. This is Species, Origin of Species. It was by the means of natural selection. You get this book in the market even today. It's nice to just read the book. And like I have got the hobby of reading. I read a lot. Whenever I get time ना, अभी तो e-books available है, but पहले ना I was in Xavier's, तो चर्च गेट टाउन साइड था मेरा कॉलेज. तो उधर है ना भाई, कभी आप गए हो नहीं गए हो आई डोंट नो, अभी तो ठीक है, बट पहले लाइक बिफोर दिस पैंडेमिक इफ यू हैव बीन टू चर्च गेट के स्ट्रीट्स ना, तो वहाँ पर है ना स्ट्रीट पे ना बहुत सारे बुक सेलर्स बैठते हैं जो सेकेंड हैंड बुक्स बेचते हैं. हैव यू ऑल एवर बीन टू दैट एरिया फ्रॉम चर्च गेट और CST? उस एरिया में ना वो फाउंटेन वाला एरिया है ना बेटा, वहाँ पर है ना ऐसे रोड पे ही ना वो बुक्स बेचते हैं. ओल्ड बुक्स रहते हैं, सारे पुराने पुराने बुक्स हैं, सेकंड हैंड में मिलते हैं. वेरी लाइक बहुत चीप है वो, कॉस्टली नहीं होते हैं. यू बार्गेन अ लॉट एंड दे गिव यू. या दे आर एक्चुअली, यस, या दे आर वेरी चीप. अभी 100 रुपीज हो गए. व्हेन आई वाज इन कॉलेज दैट टाइम, तो वी यूज्ड टू आर्ग्यू फॉर 7 रुपीज 8 रुपीज पे भी मैंने खरीदे हुए हैं. तो ऐसे ही मैं ना बुक्स लेकर लेके आती थी. and I loved reading. So I used to just go through it and I used to start reading all these books. I used to read, I still read all type of books, not only associated with studies. I love reading, so I read all type of books. Then I don't mind reading the political wale also, and I don't mind reading the novels also, everything. Okay, तो वो कितना मतलब बहुत चीप रेट में मिलता था, 1 रुपीज में वो नॉवेल्स मिलते थे, प्राइड एंड प्रेजुडाइज एंड ऑल दोस थिंग्स. तो वैसे ही ये बुक मैंने लिया हुआ है और मैंने पढ़ा भी है इनफैक्ट. इट्स अ वेरी ब्यूटीफुल बुक. Charles Darwin's concepts, he has tried to prove it with all scientific basis. Okay, so of course, so Charles Darwin used the term evolution as descent with modification. Uh, that is, what do you mean by evolution? Descent with modification का मतलब it is a form of modification जिसको उन्होंने evolution बोला. ठीक है. Organic evolution can thus be defined as a slow, gradual, continuous, irreversible change through which the present day complex forms have descended from the simple pre-existing forms of the past. So this is the definition that is put forward by Darwin for organic evolution. So the words cannot be changed. The words cannot be changed. This is a statement. मैंने open and inverted commas में ये डाले हुए हैं, if you can see. Open and close inverted commas में मैंने ये sentence डाला हुआ है बेटा. So you cannot change the sentence. It is defined by him. What is organic of evolution? Slow. It's slow. It's not going to be spontaneous. It's going to be slow. Gradual. धीरे धीरे है और एक के बाद एक gradually progress हो रहा है. Okay. Continuous. It does not have a break in between. It's a continuous process that is taking place. Irreversible. Okay. Yeah, Viva, you're right, beta. Yes, Galapagos Island, yes. Irreversible है ये. It cannot be reversed back. Okay, irreversible changes through which the present day complex forms have descended. अभी जो हम दिख रहे मतलब है जितने भी लाइफ फॉर्म्स आज हम लोग देख पा रहे हैं, they have been descended from whom? From simple pre-existing forms of the past. So we are a result of what? We are a result of simple pre-existing forms of the past. Okay, this is what Charles Darwin has described organic evolution as. Any difficulty, beta? Any difficulty in understanding the definition? Okay. In the year 1859, Charles Darwin published his observations and conclusions in a book called as Origin of Species. Darwin's theory of organic evolution based on natural selection is based on the following principles. So in this book only, he has given all these points, okay? And he has explained all these points in detail. We don't have to go into the details too much, but this is a part of your syllabus, which I am explaining right now, okay? So how nature selects is what we like he has been answering this question. Just now I think that someone asked me that but who selects? So I said nature selects. So nature selects on what basis? So just see, the natural selection is going to be based on the following principle: overproduction or enormous fertility or prodigality of production. So if there is overproduction of anything, if there is enormous fertility causing tremendous population, prodigality of production means continuous formation of that particular species. Fine. ऐसे अगर होता है ना तो एलिमिनेशन स्टार्ट होता है जो अभी चल रहा है. आई बिलीव इन दैट कि अभी जो चल रहा है कोरोना का, first point that is put forward by Charles Darwin in the year 1859. This is 2021. Look at his way of thinking. Whenever there is overpopulation, whenever there is overproduction, whenever there is enormous fertility, nature will start chopping off the extras. Okay? Struggle for existence. If there is going to be struggle between two different life forms for existence, it could be intraspecific, interspecific or environmental struggle. Intraspecific का मतलब क्या होता है बेटा? Within the same species. That is intraspecific. Okay, interspecific within two different species. Interspecific. Okay, and environmental struggle. Environmental struggle means corona, flooding, Tokte, right? Last week there was Tokte, this week there is Yas. Of course, Yas is not there in India, Mumbai, but it's in Odisha. Yesterday only the news I heard that the cyclone called as Yas is going to hit the Odisha shores today. So, what are all these things? Yes, 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 yes. Black, white, yellow fungi, हाँ, सब कुछ. ये जो सारे हैं ना बेटा, ये एनवायरमेंटल स्ट्रगल है. ये एनवायरमेंट के वजह से हमें मतलब स्ट्रगल करना पड़ रहा है फॉर लिविंग. Correct? So this is another reason. One is overproduction, overpopulation as we say as of now. But population, ये word generally is associated with human beings, and production is general life forms, right? Struggle for existence is the second one. That would be intra-specific. What would be for intra-specific? Within the same species क्यों झगड़ा होता है? तीन चीजों के लिए झगड़ा होता है बेटा within the same species. लेकिन एक जो है वो प्रीडोमिनेंट है. कौन सा वाला है पता है? Of course, sharing of space, right? दूसरा क्या है? For food resources, but sharing of space and food resources could be intra के लिए भी और inter के लिए भी, दोनों के लिए हो सकते हैं. But जो predominant है, that is for mating के लिए. There is always going to be a struggle that is seen in, organisms. So that is your intra-specific area. And intra-specifically, it's generally sharing of space and food. Okay. Suppose there is a patch of grass. A horse is also there and a cow is also there. Right? Both want to feed on the same grass. उतना छोटा ही पैच है. Struggle. Correct? एक डियर भाग रहा है. एक साइड से लायन आ रहा है, एक साइड से टाइगर आ रहा है. दोनों को उस डियर को खाना है. Struggle. That is interspecific. Huh? And intra means between the same species. Okay? And environmental, as I said just now, the natural calamities that a life has to struggle with. Not only human beings, this is not only human beings, but this is in general all the life forms. All the life forms. Like in last week's Tokte cyclone, I don't know in your place what was the condition, but in my area, there were many trees which fell down. They were completely uprooted and they fell down. है ना? देखा था आपने? आपने देखा था आपके एरिया में ऐसा कुछ हुआ था बेटा? मेरे तो सोसाइटी के बाहर भी बहुत सारे ट्रीज एंड ये है, सारे के सारे उखड़ गए थे, है ना? Yes, almost all of us. So even that is also struggle for life na. The plant was also struggling against the force of the wind. Yeah, very big trees fell down. Yes, beta. है ना? Yeah, even in my area also, there was one, I had an emergency, I had to go out for some emergency. Like, ये थे, तो जब मैं गई थी ना वो patient थे, तो when I was actually driving ना, तो when I went from my house to that person's house, the road was okay. And by the time I was returning within say hardly 15-20 minutes में I returned back ना, वो 15-20 मिनट के अंदर ही इतना बड़ा वो पेड़ गिर गया था ना वो सेम रूट पे कि इट वाज इम्पॉसिबल फॉर कम बैक. तो दूसरे पीछे वाले रूट से ऐसा पूरा गोल घूम के आना पड़ा था. या एग्जैक्टली मनन, सर्वाइवल ऑफ द फिटेस्ट. यस, कार पे भी गिरे थे. एक तो इधर हमारे कार मतलब वो पार्क कार थी, नो वन वाज इनसाइड. So it fell on that parked car, and that it was, that was so huge impact था उसका कि वो जो ऊपर वाला जो ये रहता है ना रूफ होता है ना, it went perfectly inside and it fell on the horn. तो continuously वो horn बज रहा था, continuous horn बज रहा था उसका कार पे गिरे तो. Yeah, it got damaged very badly. Oh my God. Yeah, seriously, it fell on a watchman. Oh, is he fine now? That's really bad, right? Arre, re. But yeah, some people they even lost lives because of that. है ना? So these are your environmental struggles, right? Yeah. Then there is yeah, coexistence happens, my dear. So you asked me about the coexistence. Yes, coexistence hota hai. Because of coexistence only so many species are capable of sustaining and surviving. But still, this struggle for life to hai na? The third they are saying variation and heredity. That if a particular species is going to continuously show variations, it becomes more accepted by the nature. And if it is going to be having the same type of genetic makeup passed continuously without any changes, it is not going to be selected by nature. It will become a weaker and weaker and weaker progeny, right? Yes, you are right, Arya. You're perfectly right. Yes, the parasites in our intestines are also an example of coexistence. Very true, my dear. Very correct. Very correct. Okay. The fourth is saying, of course, survival of the fittest. As I said just now, like there are so many cases we hear about the COVID infection and so many cases which recover from that infection. So they are fittest. So they have survived, right? The others who are not fit, they get eliminated, of course. They get killed, but that is what is the nature's, you know, decision. Origin of new species. Yes. So whenever there is going to be origin of new species, either it will adapt and sustain, or if it is not in the position to adapt, it will get automatically eliminated. Okay, fine. Yeah. Cow and horse, if there are limited resources, no one is going to have the coexistence. There's always going to be a struggle. See, for example, you want to go in medical college. ठीक है, तुम्हें एमबीबीएस के लिए सीट कैसे भी करके लेनी है. इमेजिन कर लो, आप और आपका बेस्ट फ्रेंड है. बेस्ट फ्रेंड मतलब सिंस योर केजी सेक्शंस यू आर टुगेदर. ओके, and there is only one seat that is available. What will happen? फ्रेंडशिप के नाते उसको दे दोगे, भाई ले ले, तू ले ले, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, हम दोनों फ्रेंड्स हैं बचपन से, तू ले ले, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, मुझे नहीं करना है, नेक्स्ट ईयर करूंगी मैं, उसमें क्या बड़ा है, आज तू ले ले बेटा, तू ले ले, तू मेरा फ्रेंड है ना, तू ले ले. हाँ, ऐसे कैसे, है ना? राइट, दैट इज व्हाट बेटा, दैट इज व्हाट. सो नॉट एवरी टाइम देयर कैन बी कोएग्जिस्टेंस. जहाँ कोएग्जिस्टेंस हो सकता है, आई हैव नॉट सीन 3 idiots. I don't know, ऐसा ही कुछ है. I don't know, whatever. So when it comes to like a struggle, it is a struggle. If there are two seats and you two friends are together, you will ensure that both the seats are got by you two only. आप तीसरे को आने नहीं दोगे. आने दोगे क्या? कभी नहीं आने दोगे. दो सीट्स है, हम दोनों एलिजिबल है, बस इमीडिएट एडमिशन ले लो, आज के आज दोनों साथ में जाके हम लोग फीस भर के आएंगे, है ना? ताकि तीसरा कोई आके वो सीट लेना ले. Correct? So yes, my dears, this is how you book your seats for your colleges. You have to pay the fees immediately. जैसे ही आपको समझता है आपका नंबर लग गया, अगर given stipulated time में आपने फीस नहीं भरी, तो आपका सीट गया, right? So anyway, so this is how are the 5 points that have been shared by Charles Darwin in his book called as Origin of Species. And he believes in all these 5 principles. Any difficulty? Now this also comes for 3 marks or 2 marks. Huh? Darwin's theory of organic evolution is based on natural selection, which is based on which principles? So you have to write down each and every principle, 5 principles which I have jotted down. Of course, इसका आगे discussion भी है. What is overproduction, struggle for life, everything. But as of now, what is your doubt, beta? At the result day only we have to get. No, my dear. रिजल्ट डे पे कुछ नहीं होता है. रिजल्ट डे के बाद जब आपका रिजल्ट लगेगा ना नीट का, तो आपको ऑल इंडिया रैंक आ जाएगी. और ऑल इंडिया रैंक से हमें कुछ लेना देना नहीं है अनलेस एंड अनटिल यू वांट टू गो टू any of the colleges in India. Okay, so generally we'll have to wait for the state merit list to be out. So महाराष्ट्र स्टेट की मेरिट लिस्ट डिक्लेयर होती है आफ्टर अराउंड 2 to 3 weeks ऑफ योर नीट रिजल्ट्स. तो बहुत बार बच्चे है ना रोने लगते हैं, मिस मेरा है ना 25,000 रैंक आया, मेरा 40,000 रैंक आया, मेरा तो चांस गया, मेरा 1 लाख रैंक आया, अब तो मुझे एडमिशन नहीं मिलेगा, इतना मेरा गंदा रैंक आया, ये हुआ वो हुआ. अरे कुछ करने की जरूरत नहीं है, वो इंडिया के ऊपर का रैंक है. तो आपको मेरिट लिस्ट बेस्ड ऑन स्टेट चाहिए. तो स्टेट मेरिट लिस्ट जिसका लाइक 10,000 रैंक या 20,000 रैंक आता है ना, उसका मेरिट में कभी कभी 1,000 के अंदर भी आ जाता है स्टेट के अंदर, तो आराम से एडमिशन हो जाता है. तो यू नीड नॉट वरी अबाउट AIR रैंक. ओके, इंडिया रैंक के ऊपर तुम्हारा एडमिशन महाराष्ट्र स्टेट में नहीं, मतलब बना हुआ नहीं है, राइट. अगर तुम्हारा AIR आ गया, टॉप 100 में अगर तुम आ गए, तो तुम्हें जो चाहिए वो कॉलेज मुंबई का मिल ही जाएगा. बट अगर रैंक पीछे चला गया तो रोते मत बैठो कि अभी क्या होगा, अभी कुछ नहीं होगा. वेट फॉर द स्टेट मेरिट लिस्ट. फिर स्टेट मेरिट लिस्ट आउट होती है. फिर स्टेट मेरिट लिस्ट आउट होने के बाद आपका 70% एडमिशन कोटा महाराष्ट्र स्टेट में ओपन होगा एंड 30% कोटा आपका ऑल इंडिया के लिए ओपन रहेगा. तो आपको टोटल 2 फॉर्म भरने होंगे, एक फॉर स्टेट लेवल का एडमिशन, एक फॉर इंडिया लेवल का एडमिशन. ओके, जिसको हम ऑल इंडिया कोटा कहते हैं. उसके बाद आपको धीरे धीरे एक एक समझता जाएगा कि क्या कट ऑफ है, क्या नहीं है, कौन सा सीट है. करते करते मॉक एडमिशन होते रहते हैं. फॉर द नेक्स्ट 3 months मॉक एडमिशन होते रहते हैं. मॉक एडमिशन का मतलब क्या होता है? सपोज आई गॉट एडमिशन इन मराठवाड़ा कॉलेज. ओके, तो मैंने फीस भर के मेरा सीट बुक कर लिया. ओके, बट मुझे 15 डेज के बाद समझा कि मेरा नंबर मुंबई में भी लग गया है. तो मैंने क्या किया, वो प्रोविजनल सीट जो मैंने बुक किया था, कुछ टोकन 1,000-2,000 रुपीज भरने होते हैं, फुल फीस नहीं भरनी होती है. तो मैंने क्या करा, मैंने वो 1,000-2,000 डोनेट कर दिए. यू विल नॉट गेट रिफंड बिकॉज यू हैव ऑलरेडी बुक्ड योर सीट, राइट. और मैंने वो मेरे ओरिजिनल सर्टिफिकेट्स लेकर मैंने मुंबई के कॉलेज में अभी एडमिशन ले ली. तो अभी वो मराठवाड़ा का सीट वेकेंट हो गया है, राइट. तो मॉक टेस्ट के टाइम पे, मॉक टेस्ट बोल रही हूँ, मॉपअप राउंड्स के टाइम पे ऐसे अगर कोई 1-2 सीट्स वेकेंट इधर उधर रह जाती है ना, तो वो मॉपअप राउंड में नंबर लगने के चांसेस होते हैं. ओके, सो इट्स अ वेरी कॉम्प्लेक्स प्रोसेस ऑफ एडमिशन, so need not worry about it right now. Yes, of course, Prachi, of course. That's what I said. If you want to go to Delhi, if you want to go to AIMS, it's going to be AIR ranking. But if you want KEM, Nair, Sion, all these in Mumbai wale colleges, then you can get via AIR also, or you can get via your state quota also. And every state has got its 70% quota for 70 nahi re, sorry, 85%. 85% state quota for state students and 15% for non-state students. So even if you don't get in Maharashtra and you have filled up AIR, ऑल इंडिया कोटा का फॉर्म तुमने भरा है, तो तुम्हें गोवा, कर्नाटका, बैंगलोर, कहीं पर भी दूसरे स्टेट में मिल सकता है. Yeah. Then you have to fill up AIR. Then you have to fill up, if you want for AIR in other state, then you have to fill up the other state का form also. You will be filling, all of you will be filling 2 forms. हाँ, मैं पहले ही बता रही हूँ. एक DMER का फॉर्म होता है और एक ICMR का फॉर्म होता है. You will be guided on this. आपको पूरा का पूरा ये है ना, काउंसलिंग सेशन रखेंगे हम लोग. Don't worry about it, right? No, my dear. Now there is, your aims has been completely eradicated. There is no GK. There is nothing. On your NEET marks only you will be eligible to get into aims. Only एक एम्स में जाना है या AFMC में जाना है या इधर के लोकल कॉलेजेस में जाना है, कहीं पर भी जाना है, आपको बस नीट क्लियर करनी है. अभी एम्स के अलग से एग्जाम नहीं होती है. So not in your NEET. ओके, सो वो एक अच्छी बात हो गई है ना. No, even for AFMC, you are going to be eligible only through NEET, but there is going to be your physical examination. For AFMC, it's going to be your this ना आर्म फोर्स मिलिट्री वाला जो होता है ना, तो उसके लिए आपका फिजिकल फिटनेस देखा जाता है. तो फिजिकल टेस्ट होती है, हाइट, वेट, आई साइट, ऑल दीज थिंग्स आर इम्पोर्टेंट. ग्लेयर स्पेक्स है तो नॉट अलाउड इन एएफएमसी. एएफएमसी में अलाउड नहीं है. नंबर है तो you are not eligible to go into AFMC college. It's not hard for anything. You just prepare whatever I'm going to tell you for bio. If you listen to me very precisely, you are ought to get 340 on 360. My challenge. Okay? You have to just follow whatever I'm saying. So during the revision lectures, be very attentive and listen to my instructions very carefully. If you just listen to my instructions very carefully and if you just solve the assignments that I give you, you're going to get 340 out of 360 aram se without trouble. But if you want to do your own ways, I can't help it. If you don't want to listen to whatever I'm going to tell you, your wish. Okay? नो बेटा, लेंसेज हो कुछ भी हो, उधर फिजिकल टेस्टिंग होने वाला है आपके आंखों का भी, तो नॉट अलाउड. आर्म फोर्सेस मेडिकल कॉलेज या how do bio students do in other subjects? See, that is what I always say. If you want to get into a good medical college, your marks out of 720 should be somewhere around 630 to 650 minimum. 630 मार्क्स लाने के लिए तुम्हें बायो के ऊपर बहुत ज़्यादा भरोसा रखना पड़ेगा और बहुत कॉन्फिडेंटली वो पेपर आपको देना पड़ेगा. बिकॉज अगर 360 मतलब 50% आपका पेपर बायो का ही है, what happens is generally majority of the students that I have seen and those students who have joined me in my repeaters batch, or you can ask any one of them, they always say कि we neglected bio. We thought bio was very easy and we literally neglected bio saying हाँ ये तो आ जाएगा. और हमने बहुत ज़्यादा फिजिक्स के ऊपर इतना ज़्यादा ध्यान दिया बिकॉज हमें वो बहुत डिफिकल्ट लगता था. तो सही बात है बेटा, बट गिव जस्टिस टू ऑल द 3 सब्जेक्ट्स. डोंट निग्लेक्ट एनी ऑफ द सब्जेक्ट. बायो इतना मत करो कि तुम फिजिक्स और केमिस्ट्री को निग्लेक्ट करोगे, फिजिक्स इतना मत करो कि तुम बायो और केमिस्ट्री को निग्लेक्ट करोगे, केमिस्ट्री इतना मत करो कि तुम फिजिक्स और बायो को निग्लेक्ट करोगे. सो गिव इक्वल जस्टिस टू ऑल द 3 सब्जेक्ट्स, right? And many people don't know how to study biology. Okay, so that is the issue, that is the problem. So very soon, as and when I complete with the syllabus, I'll be starting with your revision lectures and I'll be taking revision of all the 38 chapters. सारे चैप्टर्स का मैं रिवीजन लूंगी और वो रिवीजन के टाइम पे अगर जो भी मैं इंस्ट्रक्शंस दे रही हूँ, जिस तरीके से मैं रिवीजन ले रही हूँ, अगर आप लोग ने वो फॉलो किया तो आपको 340, 345, इवन 350 का इवन 360 भी लाना इजी हो जाएगा. तो इफ यू गोइंग टू गेट 340 इन बायो ओनली, योर लोड ऑन फिजिक्स एंड केमिस्ट्री गोज डाउन टू स्कोर 630. अगर आपने बायो में ही 280 लाया तो आप 600 क्रॉस करना बहुत मुश्किल हो जाएगा, है ना. सो बी वेरी श्योर दैट यू हैव टू क्रैक बायो विद 340 प्लस. Okay, yeah, you can. For bio students who are weak in chem and physics, you can see, you can talk to, of course, this is a normal thing, my dears, that some students are very good at one particular subject. So if you are very good at bio and you are finding it difficult with physics and chemistry, then you have to sort it out with your teachers. Sit with them, tell them where you're feeling, getting stuck. What is the problem? What is the thing that you're not understanding? You know what happens? This is my experience as I'm saying right now, beta. You know what? Me as a teacher and me as a student. Okay, I'll share both the experiences. So when I was a student like you all, when I was in 11th standard, uh, when I attended my, as to go to my college, we did not have classes and all. का culture ही नहीं था वो time पे. So whenever our teacher used to teach us ना, our teacher was, like he used to be, इतना भी नहीं आता है, ये तो 8th standard का syllabus है, ये तो तब किया होगा, ये तो basic है, इतना भी नहीं आता है तुम्हें, तुम क्या डॉक्टर बनोगे, तुम क्या इंजीनियर बनोगे, तुम क्या कुछ बनोगे, तुम कुछ नहीं बन सकते हो, तुम्हें ये भी नहीं समझता है, इतना भी नहीं समझता है, दिस इज द वे आवर टीचर्स यूज्ड टू इंसल्ट अस। तो क्या होता था ना, हमें बहुत डर लगता था कि भाई हम लोग कैसे पूछे, एम आई द ओनली वन हु इज नॉट अंडरस्टैंडिंग? So it was not like that way. There were almost everyone who was not understanding. Yeah, we lose our confidence ना, डर लगता है ना। और फिर पूछने के लिए भी डर लगता है टीचर को। लगता है भाई क्या बोलेंगे टीचर, कि यार इतना भी नहीं आता है, बिकॉज़ एवरी टाइम वो टीचर वही बोलता रहता है। So I used to be, like very scared. And because of that, na, I was having a lot of problem with physics. Chemistry I could manage. I was good at chemistry, but physics was a blunder for me. And my physics sir was my god. किसी की हिम्मत ही नहीं होती थी उनके साथ जाके बात करने की. Then one day, I confronted him. I told him, कि sir, you're teaching very nicely. You're the best teacher probably. But ना sir, मैं जब स्कूल में थी ना तो शायद मेरा बेस अच्छा नहीं हुआ है. आई एम नॉट स्ट्रॉन्ग विथ माई बेसिक्स. तो कैन यू हेल्प मी विथ अंडरस्टैंडिंग द बेसिक्स? पता है कि ये 8th में पढ़ाया है, लेकिन शायद 8th में ना मुझे वो नहीं समझा था. तो मैंने एकदम ऐसा मतलब है ना जाके कॉन्फ्रॉन्ट कर दिया था सर के पास. एंड देन ही वाज लाइक, यू कुड हैव टोल्ड मी बिफोर ना, व्हाई यू डिड नॉट टेल मी दिस? तो कैसे समझेगा आगे का कुछ भी? ऐसे आई नो सर, बट प्लीज सर, इट्स अ रिक्वेस्ट. So then I said, sir, it is not only me, it is the entire class who is having this problem. So can you just go ahead with the basics? So then he helped us with the basics, and then you won't believe, physics became so good as a subject for me and my friends also that time. And then we could at least coordinate कि ये हम लोग क्या पढ़ रहे हैं? नहीं तो कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा था। हम ऐसे ही ब्लैंक देख रहे हैं बोर्ड के पास बस, क्या हो रहा है, क्या नहीं हो रहा है, कौन कहाँ से डिराइव हो रहा है, कौन कहाँ से, मतलब nothing we were in the capacity to understand. But once our basics became very, very clear na, he made us, he ensured that our basics become clear. So in that way na, then what he used to tell us, you start solving physics के 25 questions every day. एंड अगर जिधर तक आता है, जिधर तक, उधर तक तुम सॉल्व करो, बाद में वो पेज ब्लैंक छोड़ दो. यू कम टू मी, यू आस्क मी कि सर मुझे इधर तक आया, इसके आगे कुछ नहीं आ रहा है. तो स्टार्टिंग स्टार्टिंग में तो मुझे कुछ भी नहीं समझ में आ रहा था. मैं करने की कोशिश कर रही हूँ फिर भी नहीं आ रहा है मुझे. बेस समझाने के बाद भी आई वाज फिडलिंग अ लॉट. सो व्हाट आई डिड, आई यूज्ड टू जस्ट राइट द सम. वो न्यूमेरिकल्स जो थे ना मैं सिर्फ लिखती थी और फिर सर को बोलती थी, सर मुझे नहीं समझ रहा है, कौन सा फॉर्मूला यहाँ पर अप्लाई करना है, नहीं समझ रहा है. फिर सर बोलते थे, अरे देख ऐसा ऐसा फॉर्मूला डाल और अब कर ले. हाँ सर अभी आ गया. अब ऐसे टाइप के सर मुझे और 25 क्वेश्चन आप दे दो. तो मैं सर के पास से मांग लेती थी कि सर ये फॉर्मूला बेस्ड मुझे और 25 क्वेश्चन दे दो. देन ही यूज्ड टू टेल मी कहाँ से मिलेंगे मुझे वो 50 or whatever 25 30 40 क्वेश्चंस कहाँ से मिलेंगे. देन आई यूज्ड टू गो टू द लाइब्रेरी. आई यूज्ड टू सिट इन द लाइब्रेरी. आई यूज्ड टू टेक द बुक एंड यूज्ड टू सॉल्व. देन आई यूज्ड टू कम टू नो कि अरे अच्छा ऐसे वाले क्वेश्चन के लिए ऐसा वाला यूज करना है. तो नहीं आता है करके तुम लोग छोड़ देते हो ना, वो गलत है. नहीं आता है तो क्यों नहीं आता है, कहाँ अटक जाते हो, कहाँ तक समझा है, किसके आगे नहीं समझा है, इज समथिंग दैट यू नीड टू सॉर्ट आउट विथ योर टीचर. तब तक तुम्हें वो सब्जेक्ट डिफिकल्टी लगेगा बेटा, है ना. बायो इज थ्योरी बेस्ड एंड फिजिक्स एंड केमिस्ट्री में थोड़ा डिराइव करना पड़ता है, एप्लीकेशन ज्यादा है. तो बी वेरी क्लियर विथ योर टीचर. कोई टीचर बुरा नहीं होता है, बिलीव मी, कोई भी टीचर बुरा नहीं होता है. मतलब नॉट ओनली ऑफ मास्टर क्लास, इन जनरल आई एम सेइंग, ओनली यू हैव टू डिफाइन योर प्रॉब्लम. ओनली हैव टू डिफाइन योर प्रॉब्लम इन अ वेरी क्लियर वे. मुझे नहीं आता है करके बोलोगे तो टीचर को कैसे समझेगा. तुम डॉक्टर के पास जाओगे, बोलोगे मुझे दुख रहा है, तो क्या भाई कौन सा मेडिसिन देगा वो डॉक्टर तुम्हें? क्या दुख रहा है, सिर दुख रहा है, पैर दुख रहा है, पेट दुख रहा है? डिफाइन डिफाइन define your problem. Only then you will get the answer to it, right? How much biochem MCQs you should solve daily? You can solve around 50, 50. Yes, what are you asking, beta? Can we still ask sir to go through the basics for us like it's there? Yeah, you have got ample of time. Surely you can talk to your sirs. आपके सर के साथ बात करके उनको बोलो कि सर ये हमारा कुछ बेसिक हुआ नहीं है, आप एक ब्रिज कोर्स डाल दो, एक्स्ट्रा लेक्चर ले लो, कुछ भी करो, हमें बेसिक कुछ भी नहीं पता. You can definitely talk, and of course every, see, for a teacher na, for every teacher na, प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करना उसको अच्छा लगता है। वो कोई भी टीचर हो, उसको गुस्सा नहीं आता है, उसको अच्छा लगता है। अब क्या होता है ना, जब हम आपको 11th में पढ़ाते हैं ना, तो हम प्रिज्यूम करते हैं कि आपको ये आ रहा है, और इसीलिए मैं कभी वो प्रिजम्पशंस रखती नहीं हूँ। आपने देखा होगा माय लेक्चर्स आर सो बेसिक समटाइम्स, है ना? मतलब यू माइट फील कि अरे मैम कितना, मतलब ये लेवल इतना लो लेवल का क्यों पढ़ा रही है? लेकिन आई ऑलवेज अज्यूम कि आपको कुछ नहीं आता है। एंड देन व्हेन आई स्टार्ट एंड अपग्रेड, आगे तो वो बेस क्लियर हुआ है तो आगे का समझ में आता है। So definitely you can, directly talk to sir or whoever is teaching you or whatever subject. It comes to bio also, हाँ? ऐसे नहीं, अगर आपको नहीं समझ में आ रहा है ना कुछ भी, you can anytime tell me, anytime. I don't mind. Okay? So in the same way, you can directly tell your teachers. You can get that gap filled up ना. Then आगे वाला सारा कहानी easy हो जाएगा. Right? Got it? Yes. So today we have completed organic evolution ka first part. Now all these 5 different, descriptions will be seeing it in tomorrow's lecture. Okay. So I stop for today and see you all tomorrow again at 8 o'clock with the next episode of evolution. ये episodes ही है, ये कहानी है ना? So let's come together tomorrow again to understand evolution का part. Okay. चलो बेटा. Bye bye. See you all. See you all. Thank you so much.